Welcome
to another episode of Doctor Who Time and Space, episode 184.
184 episodes of me, D, Doctor, Cool.
And me, L, Lewis Moon.
So this is a Doctor Who podcast.
Yep.
What have we got on this week's show?
Well, we are going to be taking a look at our top 6 Doctors, as it's Patrick Troughton Day.
Why is it Patrick Troughton Day then, sir?
Because we're celebrating 50 years of Patrick Troughton today.
Wowzer.
50 years.
So 50 years since his first episode was broadcast.
Yes.
Yep. Fantastic. So that's going to be an item we'll be doing later on.
Yep.
We're also going to be giving a review of Kill the Moon.
We will be taking a look at episode 4 of Class, which is the Doctor Who spin-off, co-owner of A Lonely Heart.
We'll be giving you some news and views from the Who-niverse.
We will be... I forgot where we got to. We will be pressing the magic randomizer button.
Randomizer button, nice.
Yep.
And if we've got time, we'll do a little game show, but we shall see.
We
what
haven't
it is.
had time the last few
We
weeks.
haven't. So I won't even bother explaining what, but we may do. We'll see how we're doing. We probably won't, but
yes.
let's kick off then, shall we? With what have you been doing this week? Have you been doing any Who related things?
Who related things? I have, but I can't remember. I did something. What did I do? I can't remember. I did something.
You did something, but you can't remember. Did you listen to a bit of your Big Finish?
Yes, I did. I did listen to my Big Finish, and
you might just want to remind people what the Big Finish is that you're listening to.
It's the Rosa Marinas. So
Patrick Troughton lost episode.
Yeah, finished the first disc of that. Obviously, it's not got Patrick Troughton in, but
alas not. But it is apt that it's apt that you're listening to that on Patrick Troughton Day. But aside from that, you can't think what else you've been...
I can, apart from something that we've been watching which isn't really a Doctor Who related thing.
That's worth mentioning though, actually. Yeah, so you're going to mention it or mine?
It's the Auton fan film thing. I don't know whether it's a fan film, I don't know what you class it as.
Yeah, I mean, so it came from... Can you remember the year it came out?
1997?
So is it during the Wilderness years?
Yep.
Yep.
The year after the TV movie.
So it's sort of, I imagine it probably plugged a few gaps, but it was interesting. It was a sort of a unit-based story involving the Autons.
Yeah.
Had the guy from the comedian guy that was in...
Rhys Shearsmith.
Yeah, he was in it.
Yep.
Oh, it was interesting, actually.
It was
interesting. It was good. I mean, it was obviously fairly low budget, wasn't it? Who was the writer?
Nicholas Briggs.
So, Nicholas Briggs, who obviously the head honcho, I think, at Big Finish, and and also the Dalek extraordinaire.
And the Sidemen and loads of other monsters.
So that was good. I quite enjoyed watching that. It was, let's say, I mean, it was... How good quality was it? It's not fantastic, but it was an enjoyable.
It's
view.
how you'd expect Doctor Who to be if it carried on until the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, it was
except for it didn't have the Doctor in it.
It was probably better than how the classic series had finished, actually, in some respects. Better than some of the
some of them. I think the last series of Classic Who was actually okay.
Yeah,
it had Curse of Fenric, and then also it had like Battlefield, Ghostlight, and Survival, which are all quite good.
I mean, that's another thing you've been doing, isn't it? This week, we've not posted it yet. We'll probably post it later on today. Yep. But you did your review of Survival.
Yes, so that should be posted today, or maybe very early tomorrow.
That'd be on your YouTube channel.
Yes.
Which is
Mr. Lewis Moon.
Yeah, there we have it. Anything else that you've been watching this week of either Who-related stuff or other things?
Not that I can remember.
Yeah. Okay.
Apart from our randomizer and class.
Yeah.
Then, no.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I've myself, as per usual, I've not watched anything Who-related, but I have been watching a lot of stuff. I finished off my Luke Cage series,
Yeah.
and I really liked that. Actually, I definitely recommend it. It got better as it went on. I mean, the last episode perhaps not quite as good as the other 12, but a little bit of a weak ending, I guess. But the build up to it was fantastic, and definitely yet another really strong superhero.
Did you say it was one of it
story.
might be your favourite out of the three?
Do you know? I think it probably was actually. And the villains are quite good because they're not really that super powered villains, you know, like what you get in the other series. It was just all about sort of Harlem's sort of, I guess, gang culture and things like that. But it was really good. Really enjoyed that one. So
Okay.
I'd definitely recommend that to people if they want to watch something which is not Doctor Who related. Give that a whirl. And then obviously been carrying on with the Walking Dead as well.
Yeah.
Which was all right. It was not as well. It was never going to be as exciting as the previous story because obviously that was the whole Negan reveal and everything like that. It probably needed to calm down a little bit, and I think it was more of a storytelling episode. It was like a building one, bringing in King Ezekiel.
Welcome to my kingdom.
How do you know that? You didn't even watch it.
I saw the trailer.
Ah, I see. So, yeah, that was good. Actually, the interesting thing about that, just a very brief aside before we get back onto Doctor Who, was apparently that episode 2 wasn't initially going to be episode 2. It was actually going to be episode 3.
Really?
And I imagine they swapped it around a little bit because they felt that after the big, exciting and quite traumatic opening episode, they needed to calm it down a little bit. So there's probably a lot of sense in that. But anyway, that probably sums up. I haven't got around to watching Westworld yet. So no, I think because I was saying to you earlier on, I really like Westworld, but I get the feeling that the novelty's sort of worn off a little bit because it was a really great opening couple of episodes, and then after a while it just feels a little bit samey. But we'll see. I'll see it through to the end, no doubt. Excellent.
I think that's it for our opening bit that we've been watching.
Yeah. Are we going to go on to class?
Yeah.
So what's the episode called?
Co-owner of a Lonely Heart. So then, for the last few weeks, the new Doctor Who spin-off show, Class, which has been aimed at young adults, has aired on BBC iPlayer. And this week we're at episode 4, which is called Co-owner of a Lonely Heart, as you heard earlier. There may be some spoilers. We try not to give much away, but if you haven't watched it yet, we did advise that you should either not carry on watching or skip to a later point in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Because this review, how long do you think this review will be?
Well, about 10 minutes, say.
10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, there definitely will be some spoilers on it. So there you have it, your spoiler warning.
Yeah.
So, interesting episode.
Yes, it was.
Dropped today.
Yeah.
Saturday morning.
Yeah.
As you say, the fourth one, and the first of the first one has not been a standalone story, really, isn't it? It looks like it's a 2-parter at least.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it will only be a 2-parter, but it's interesting how they've chose a different format than the standalone episodes that we'd seen for the first 3.
Yeah. Are you going to read a synopsis or anything for it?
Yes, I am. So, April starts to feel the effects of sharing her heart with Cora Keenus, and his attempts to sever the attachment only make it stronger. When April's estranged father makes a startling appearance, she confronts him with Shadowkin force, manifesting the traits of the Shadowkin leader. Frightened by this extraordinary newfound power, April seeks comfort in Ram and vows to reclaim her heart as her own. Meanwhile, something strange is happening to the others. London is slowly being infested with unusual, sinister flower petals.
Cool, you can't, nothing more sinister than a flower petal. Tell you that.
I'm going to say Class Episode 4 is the best one so far.
I would agree with you. I think it was a really good story, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it may not sound it, I mean, the first part of the synopsis sounds really good, but as soon as it starts getting into the flower petals, you start thinking, what? Eh?
The flower petals was actually an interesting story.
It was a very interesting
We're
story.
sorry for you know.
I'm sorry we doubted you, flower petals.
Yeah. Well, we don't really know much on the front of the flower petals, but I think we're going to learn a bit more about that next time.
And the great thing actually about the series in general is that it's the stories right from the start have all started to merge together. So there's little things that they would touch on in early episodes are now beginning to become more and more relevant. So for example, we'd heard mention of April's dad. I think she received a phone call from him in episode 2, I think.
Yeah, it was
maybe,
episode 2.
and ignored it. And that obviously played into the episode today.
Yep.
There was another thing in particular I was thinking of. What was it again?
References.
Yeah.
Um.
There was one in particular. I was thinking about the flower petals and things.
The Ofsted inspectors.
Yeah, no, that was what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
They make mention of the robot at some point, don't they? Because you got a new head teacher coming.
Yeah, and she's an interesting character.
Yeah. Who do you think this new head teacher is?
I don't know. Well, she's called Dorothy, and she's played by Pookie Quenzel.
Oh.
Pookie.
Pookie, great
Sorry,
name.
great name. Yeah.
Who?
There's also a person called Pooja in this series.
Is there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting names.
Yeah.
I wonder whether she's actually unit or something.
Yeah, I think she is. There's something about her. I mean, first of all, we have the weird teacher, Miss Quill, the weird physics teacher, and now we have a Coal Hill Academy led by this weird headmistress.
Yeah, with robot Ofsted inspectors.
Yeah.
I think that because of all the alien activity, UNIT have planted an agent there as the head teacher.
Yeah, probably.
That's my thinking on it, and the very nature of the fact that she knows everything about what's going on with all the various characters.
Yeah.
In itself, that's a little bit mysterious.
Yeah,
isn't
into what lesson they're always in.
Yeah,
because they always seem to be in Miss Quill's class.
That's because the others aren't important, are they?
Yeah.
So what did you make of the story? The actual story itself.
With April.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
A really good lead into next time. So quite a good setup. Yeah, it was a really good episode.
I think I really like the bit. It's quite early on when they're in the class and they're talking about war.
Yeah.
And April, who's usually really quiet and is acknowledged as being one of the nice ones, possibly too nice for her and good at times, and she absolutely freaks out, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And it's all part of this whole thing with the Shadowkin.
Yeah. And I thought the whole story had a lot of depth to it, and it was very interesting.
Yeah. And there's a few scares in there as well, wasn't there?
There were, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Shadowkin anyway is pretty cool.
Yeah, it is, yeah. The first episode saw the Shadowkin, and Korakinus was, I think, the only one we saw in the first episode.
I think you might be right.
But in this episode we do see a couple more of his race, and we see his planet.
Yeah. And I think, actually, that was another real hark back to stuff that we'd already seen, wasn't it? Because in the first episode, it did the setup with April and the sort of shared heart. So that started to really pave the way for what we got in this episode. So I thought actually some of my favourite bits were that, where there's the sudden switches between nice April and Shadowkin April.
Yeah, it was quite cool. Yeah.
And the way they did it with her eyes
with
and
the
everything
swords.
Everything like that.
Yeah.
And it was an interesting idea that obviously both sides of the Hearts were battling for control, not only for April but also whatever his name is, the Shadowkin guy.
Yeah, Korakinus.
Yeah. it was affecting him as well, wasn't
Yeah.
it? So yeah, it was an interesting
plot.
Petals.
Yeah.
So do you want to explain a bit about what the petals are doing?
So they're like duplicating and then they're invading and they want to eat the entire human race. And the people who they don't eat will be drowned by the amount of petals that there actually are.
So it's interesting, wasn't it? I mean, they showed a bit early on where April sort of playing her violin and the string breaks, and I think, am I right in thinking that like the petals flown through the window, and that's
I think so. That's sort of a big crossover between the two stories going on.
Yes, yeah, no, that's right. But that was what basically these petals do is that they feed off the blood, and that's what causes them to duplicate.
Yeah.
And one single petal, which has obviously entered the earth through that
the vortex
crack in time and space or whatever, and was then sort of duplicating itself, and the more and more it fed off the blood of people.
And I think that's a really interesting thing, and somehow they're going to have to get rid of the petals.
Yeah. And
I wonder if it will be like something stupid, like they can destroy the petal that caused it.
Could
and
be,
that would destroy
maybe.
all of the others. But they have to find the petal anyway, so...
Either that or they'll wake up and it was all a dream.
Yeah.
So yeah, the petal story is interesting. What did you make of the whole April dad story?
It's such a coincidental timing, isn't it? With the whole heart thing.
Yeah, no, it is. But I thought that was a really good story.
I did, yeah.
The whole fact that it was the dad that effectively sort of shattered the whole of that family's life, didn't he? Really. I think we'd found out, if I remember rightly, in a few episodes back, that he'd deliberately tried to kill them all, hadn't he?
Yeah, he in a suicide attempt or something.
Yeah.
He tried to kill the others.
Yeah, and it sort of culminates in the sort of big spoiler warning here towards the end of the episode, where April, with the sort of Shadowkin taking over her body, she basically goes as if she's going to try and kill the father, doesn't she?
Yeah, I know.
And then she does that. The bit that really made me jump actually is when she then sort of puts her hands into the mother,
I know.
the wheelchair bound mother.
Yeah.
And
I thought she was going to kill her.
yeah, so did I actually.
Yeah.
But then whatever she's done, it seems to have unparalysed her.
Yeah.
Which is quite interesting.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very... Oh, and then of course the big ending. There's obviously a very big spoiler coming on here now, folks. But I'm sure you...
For the cliffhanger.
I'm sure we've done enough to warn you of spoilers.
But the good thing is all of them are sort of reunited at the end.
They're all reunited, but then, right at the end...
They're not.
The crack sort of suddenly appears, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because the Shadowkin have managed to locate April and the heart, and basically she jumps in, doesn't she? She jumps in and enters Shadowkin world, whatever that's called, and followed by
I don't know what it's called.
A new love interest, Ram.
Raph.
Yeah, I knew something like that. So and he jumps in as well. So there we are. That's an interesting story.
And it will be good that it sort of leads into next time's episode.
I hope it can keep that quality going, because I actually thought it would. I'd agree with you. It's the best one so far, and I think it's helped because we understand the characters and things like that.
God, the next time looks good though.
Oh, it does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Who was it who was covered in all of the blood? It must be with the petals, but in the next time trailer, I couldn't figure it out.
I can't remember now.
No, I couldn't figure it out.
But look forward for that one. I think it'll definitely be good.
I think it will try and conclude the two stories.
Yeah. So, overall feelings on Class in general, then, still as strong as you initially thought?
Yes, I think it's even stronger when we've got this episode. I think as it's the best episode so far, I think it's made its reputation even stronger, and it has to stay to a good quality now.
It certainly does.
For the first 4 episodes, we've seen something great, something with so much potential, and we're halfway through.
Yeah.
So.
And they're continuing to build for future episodes as well, aren't they? I mean, we know that. What's I'm rubbish with names. What's the teacher called again?
Miss Quill.
Yeah. She's obviously got the sort of alien thing inside her that she's controlling her, isn't it? And stopping her from being the big bad mercenary woman that she was initially. And Charlie, yeah, he's obviously the prince, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he's got complete control over her. And she, I don't know, I've got a feeling that something's going to happen within this, because she seems to be making a deal, doesn't she, with the head teacher / whoever that may be,
Dorothy,
whoever.
Yeah.
That can be removed.
Yeah.
And it'd be interesting to see what happens then, because you could see her go completely rogue, because she doesn't really want to be helping, does
she?
Because she is bad,
yeah,
really.
she heard about the conversation between Charlie and Matoise, or whatever he's called.
Yeah.
Matoise.
So it'd be quite feasible that she will try and use the weapon that is that box of souls.
Yeah.
Against the Shadow King.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Whereas I think the other guy, the prince, he's not going to want to do anything that's going to put those souls at...
The last episode, she wanted a knife, but he came in with some much less harmful weapons.
Yeah, no, that's right. So a lot of setups going on, and really, 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 really good story writing. I thought.
I think it's building up to an epic episode next time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to how it will build up to the final as well. What's going to be the big final?
Yeah, no, that's right. I think. It obviously is a young adult program. And there's a lot of the sort of romancy stuff in there, which is there for that reason. But it actually fits well within the stories.
It does, so,
I don't have a problem with it.
Today it did, definitely.
Yeah. So, all in all, what's your ratings for this one? Using the usual school system that we've been using.
It's A. It's an A.
So not quite an A star.
Not an A star, but the best one so far. I hope they keep this quality going.
And see, when I was at school, you couldn't get higher than an A, and it always the whole A star concept has always.
Yeah, but they've changed the whole grading system now.
Oh, of course they have, yeah. But that always sort of annoys me. The A star really annoyed me because it was always how can I've produced the best bit of work ever here, and it's got an A, and you're telling me that somebody's actually got more than that, just because you've invented a new grade that didn't used to exist. I couldn't have obtained then. So it's always obviously I hadn't actually produced the greatest bit of work, but in principle I could have done.
You could have done.
So
that might be Norman for Link-a-Link.
I would tend to agree. A for me as well.
Yeah,
on that one there.
A really solid episode, and really looking forward to episode 5.
Yeah, April's still your favourite character?
Yeah,
and mine as well, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So class, pretty much top grade.
Yeah, pretty much. Almost there in terms of developing such a good show.
Okay, so that probably brings us on to our next feature, which is
the news. So then, the news. Starting off then, BBC Children in Need will screen an exclusive Doctor Who clip on the charity's annual appeal night on the Friday the 18th of November. The sneak peek will see the Doctor, played by Peter Capaldi, and Nardole, played by Matt Lucas, team up with investigative reporter, played by Charity Wakefield, and a masked vigilante, played by Justin Chatwin, to defend New York from a terrifying alien invasion before the full episode, The Return of Dr. Mysterio. Written by Steve Moffat, they will be joined by Eden Tomwiwa, Alexander Jovanovic, and Logan Hoffman. The programme is executive produced by Stephen Moffat and Brian Minchin, produced by Peter Bennett and directed by Ed Basil-Getty. It was shot in Cardiff by at BBC Wales Roselock Studios. This exclusive clip will form part of BBC's Children in Need's annual show on Friday the 18th of November, 7 p.m, BBC One.
Okay, I'm slightly confused here. Can you just clarify something for me?
Yep.
What we're seeing here, is it going to be a clip from out of the Christmas special, or is it a special clip that's been made for Children in Need that's going to be like a prelude to it?
I believe it's a proper sneak peek from the episode.
Okay, right.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure they usually do a proper sneak peek.
Yeah.
It was one year, I think it was for the Snowmen, where they did do both, I think.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah. Okay, that's going to be interesting, isn't it? It's been a long time since we've seen any proper Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've seen the Doctor appear in class.
Yeah, but
recently,
that was not really,
Yeah, that was. It wasn't Doctor Who, was it?
It wasn't really Doctor Who. He was only in it for a few minutes.
Yeah, sorry. So it's going to be good to see him back on the telly again.
Yeah.
No, interesting. Well, we shall look forward for that.
I know you hate Children in Need, don't you?
Well, not the charity, I should say.
No, I don't mean it like that. I know you hate Children in Need as in a... What do you call it?
As in the programme.
As in the programme.
I hate the programme Children in Need. It's just that I know that it's all for a good cause and everything, and I wouldn't certainly not diss the cause, but there's something about EastEnders people doing grease bits and newspaper reporters doing big dance sketches. It just makes my skin creep.
I do watch EastEnders, but I do hate the EastEnders Children in Need.
Yeah. I always hate these sorts of things. These sort of things always make me cringe. To be honest, if they did a I don't know, Doctor Who does Doctor Doolittle or something like that, I'd hate that equally as much as well.
It's not because we hate the topic.
No.
It's just because we hate people singing songs.
Yeah, exactly. But they're not. When they're not
we only like singers singing songs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's that first bit of news. That's big stuff. Have we got much news this week, or was it quite a light news week? Quite light on the next series news, really, haven't we? We haven't really had any big sort of revelations on the new season for a while now.
Back to class.
Okay.
The 6th episode is going to be called Detained.
Mm-hmm.
And the synopsis has also been revealed. So if you don't like reading synopsises for episodes, then don't listen.
With all of the class dead.
In the previous episode.
No, that was a joke, obviously. What's the synopsis? What have we got?
The whole gang is thrown into detention by Miss Quill. Locked in her classroom, they are terrified when an explosion propels them out of space and time, trapped, claustrophobic and floating in blackness with no way of escape. Although a mysterious asteroid fragment may be the key to their freedom, it forces the gang to confess their deepest, darkest secrets to one another. As ugly truths come out, fractures start to appear in the friendship group. And then they make a chilling discovery. They're not alone. There's someone in there with them. The 6th episode will be available to I keep getting my words mixed up. To view on BBC 3 Saturday the 19th of November from 10 a.m. What do you think of the synopsis and title for episode 6, Detained?
Okay, I mean, it's an interesting concept, isn't it? I like the idea that they've, over the last few episodes, they've built them up more and more on a sort of a strong friendship. And there's already a few cracks building, I think, isn't it? I think, what's the younger girl called again? Is it
Tanya.
Tanya. She's not very enamoured with the way that Charlie talks to
Quill. Yeah.
I need to have all these names written down on a bit of paper.
I know. You're bad enough with Doctor Who.
Oh no, yeah. Doctor, whatever his name is. Doctor Mysterio guy.
You don't live in Mexico.
So yeah, no, so it sounds interesting. Do you
Okay.
think who do you think is going to be locked in the room with them? Do you think it's going to be a ginormous flower petal?
The Shadowkin.
The flower petal man.
Come for April's heart because I didn't get it the previous episode.
Probably. Is it obviously going to be moving on from the story that we've got?
Yeah, I think
that we
it
had this
is.
week, isn't it? So that
It
looks
sounds like a different story.
Yeah.
I bet you though the final two will be a two-parter.
Mm.
Either that or an extra long finale.
Do we know the names of all of the episodes, or are
No,
they
release them with the synopsis, which I always wait every week and look forward to what the next episode's going to be called.
Yeah. Hard to believe that we're halfway through already, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
I know it's probably a little bit misleading because of the fact that the first two episodes dropped in one
Yeah,
in
it
one
is,
go.
but
But
it's strange. We've still got more than the first half, really,
yeah,
left because obviously we had two drop on the same day as you were
yeah,
saying.
that's true. Yeah.
But the first one was longer.
So we've probably got less in terms of actual
Class.
quantity of class.
Yeah.
Okay, no, interesting bit of news, sir. Do we have any further bits this week?
So, Power of the Daleks. Power of the Daleks.
Well, it is Patrick Troughton Day.
I forgot the theme tune.
You've got the theme tune.
To the Patrick
the
Troughton
Patrick
Day.
Troughton Day theme tune. No, I've forgotten it as well.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
It was something like that, wasn't it? It was like a DIY mouth theme tune.
Yeah, we'll just say dun-dun-dun-dun.
So, yeah, what Power of the Daleks? What about it?
The BBC have announced that a colour version of the animated story Power of the Daleks is to be released at the end of the year. The black and white version is being released this weekend on BBC Store, which is actually today. Probably has come out now, but for most people,
Yeah.
who are watching this, the first
Yeah,
episode.
probably will do. Yeah, yeah.
With the DVD release coming on the 21st of November, it is now confirmed that a colour version will be released on BBC Store on the 31st of December, followed by a special edition Blu-ray containing both the black and white and colour versions from 6th of February 2017. BBC America is screening this is really annoying me. The black and white version weekly from November the 19th, and will make the colour version available exclusively on the digital platforms towards the end of November. From January the 24th, 2017, both versions of the story will be available on a Region 1 DVD, exclusive at Barnes and Noble. Stop moving.
Okay. No, I mean, what's your take then on the colour version?
Now, obviously, I do like colour because that's the age I've been grown up in, but I think Power of the Daleks needs to be in black and white. Because Power of the Daleks was originally in black and white, so I think the animation should be in black and white, and all the other animations are in black and white.
It's interesting because my thoughts on it are probably a little bit different than yours, in that I don't really have a problem with them putting this out in colour.
I don't have a problem with it. I just think it should be in black and white. I think it's better in black and white.
What I do have a problem with, and we see this all the time, and I don't blame them, I guess, but it's a little bit cash in when you release a black and white version, a colour version, and then you release a version with both colour and black and white on it.
Yeah, I know.
Because it means that all the collector people, they've obviously got far too much money.
They'll buy the BBC Store version.
Yeah, that's right.
The black and white version, the colour version, and then the black and white and colour version.
And it's like frustrating for us, isn't it? Because they're launching the first episode or whatever tonight, but we're gonna have to hold off until the end of the month or whatever, till we can watch it. And we want to watch it now.
Screening's already happened, I think.
Oh, has it? Okay, yeah.
I think it's happened this afternoon.
Okay, yeah. So great to see it coming out. As I say, I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it coming out.
Neither do I. Neither do I.
And actually, I guess the good thing is you take your choice, don't you?
Yeah, you do.
You can watch whichever one you want to watch.
What do you think most people would want to watch?
I think, a lot of new viewers, I think, would probably go for the colour.
Yeah.
You know, people.
But I think people who are fans of all of Who or just classic,
Yeah.
I'd say they choose black and white.
I'm really interested to see where this release takes us. Whether it does actually build, whether it's predominantly people that have grown up with Doctor Who that really like the classic stuff that actually that go for it, or whether it does introduce a whole younger audience into classic Who.
Yeah, it would be interesting.
Yeah.
I hope it does both.
I know we were listening to one of the other podcasts. It might be, was it? I can't remember if it was the Blue Box one or Radio Free Skara, but there was one on there where they were debating whether the animated things are a good addition or not, because of the fact that you don't have all of the expressions and things like that in the character faces that you would have had in the past.
But I still think we're probably never going to get.
No.
It's much better than stills. I hate the stills.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree. But yeah, there is an advantage though. We probably wouldn't necessarily agree with it because we really like the old classic stuff. But for people that struggle to watch the classic Who because of the effects and things like that look quite dated, because you don't have that same problem with cartoon.
No, you don't.
So, it's not going to look like a cardboard wall.
No, it isn't.
It will look like a drawn wall.
Yeah.
As it will look like a drawn Second Doctor, and as it will look like a drawn Dalek.
And Polly.
Yes.
Don't forget Polly.
So,
Ben.
we will be reviewing Power of the Daleks as soon as we get hold of a copy of
Yes.
it. Which may well be when the DVD comes out.
Yeah.
Unless we decide to jump for it and watch the first episode online, which potentially we could do, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think we should review it in full
Yeah, okay.
on here. Because then, it's better.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Any other news this week?
Yes, we do. More Power of the Daleks news as it's Patrick Troughton Day. Dun 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 dun. So, BBC Worldwide has announced that for the first 3 minutes of the animated Power of the Daleks will be premiered live on Twitter via Periscope this Saturday.
I'd keep this item short because
Which is
it's
probably
already happened for most people.
So, if you're watching before 5:50, then it will happen on 5:50, which it will the original transmission of the episode took place on BBC One at 5:50. The animated reconstruction will be live streamed exactly 50 years after that first broadcast at 5:50 p.m. on Saturday the 5th of November 2016. The Twitter feed will be available globally, and you can access the entire first episode from 5:50.
What I'm not clear about on there, presumably you have to pay for it to watch it at 5:50. And
On where?
They're not on from the store. They're not just streaming it for free, are they? The first episode
But where?
on the BBC store website.
No, I don't think so.
I imagine you probably pay, but just checking.
Yeah.
Okay, now that's really interesting. I've never seen live video stuff
No,
on
I
Twitter
don't know
before.
how
I don't
it
know how it works,
works.
so we'll have a look.
Just
properly
have to keep on
and see
looking.
what we can pick up. Good.
Good.
Anything else?
Let me just check.
Any more news? Actually, it's not that light a news week, is it? Because we've got obviously Power of the Daleks. Very interested to see what happens, as I say, with the whole cartoon thing, because you could see potentially, if this is a really big success, that maybe the Beeb will be encouraged to do the same thing with some of the other sort of really highly rated episodes of Missing.
I hope they will. I hope they
like
will.
Marco Polo, maybe we
Yeah.
might see appearing for.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'd prefer the some other episodes.
Actually, that'd be an
Evil of the Daleks should be next.
That's what I was going to ask you. Is it what episode in particular would you most want to see?
Maybe we'll do a feature on it one
Okay.
day.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Fine. So, anything else, sir?
One more bit. Panini have announced the latest in their ongoing Doctor Essentials series of special magazines. So Doctor Who magazine continue their lavish series of bookazines.
Lavish, eh? Ooh.
With a 116-page issue celebrating some of the most memorable episodes in the series' history. Invasions of Earth includes interviews with Anna Barry, Ray Brooks, Johnny Byrne, Michael Ferguson, Peter Harness, Douglas McKinnon, Victor Pemberton, and Toby Woodhouse. Other highlights include a tribute to Nicholas Courtney, a look at Terry Nation's original storyline for the Dalek Invasion of Earth, John Pertwee's unmade story The Spare Part People, and much more. The Essential Doctor Who Invasions of Earth is available at W.H. Smith and all good newsagents, and probably Forbidden Planet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. They're good little books, those, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, well worth getting. Excellent. So that probably wraps up the news.
Yes.
So what have we got next on the show?
We have our 6 challenge on our top 6 doctors. So then, for the last few weeks, we've been doing the top. We've been doing the 6 challenge.
What does the stand for then?
Everything.
Everything. Okay.
Don't worry, it doesn't stand for any swear words. The 6 challenge today moves on to our top 6 doctors.
So basically, with the top 6 things, we've both identified what we see as being the top 6 of any particular category, and then we try and argue against each other as to why the other person's list isn't correct.
Yes.
And see if we can actually make them change their ideas.
If we've got the same list,
Which is quite likely.
which is quite likely with this one, we will make a top 3 list. We might do that anyway.
Okay. So, your top doctors, you said yours aren't in order, didn't you?
Mine aren't in order.
Mine are in order.
Mine aren't in order.
We'll go with your unordered list first then.
Peter Capaldi,
Mhm.
Tom Baker,
Yeah.
Patrick Troughton,
Uh-huh.
Matt Smith,
Yeah.
John Pertwee,
Uh-huh.
Paul McGann.
Okay. Interesting.
And Paul McGann is purely by audios.
Yeah. Okay. So, is mine going to be the same as yours?
Let's
I wonder.
see.
Okay, so I'll do mine in top. I will start from the top, as in number 1. King
But
Doctor.
then we'll know what will be in the top 3 doctors.
Oh, okay. Oh, in that case, I will.
Do it mixed
I'll do it in a random order for you then. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Patrick Troughton. It's Patrick Troughton Day.
Dun 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 dun.
Peter Capaldi.
Yeah.
Matt Smith.
Yeah.
Tom Baker.
Yeah.
John Pertwee.
Yeah.
So 5 the same.
Yeah.
William Hartnell.
Ooh, I almost chose William
Yeah.
Hartnell.
I've gone for William Hartnell because he's the original.
Yeah.
Set the whole thing going.
Yeah.
An interesting character because he's so grumpy and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I think he's just got more character than the other doctors that I haven't got. Paul McGann's an interesting one because I really like the whole idea of Paul McGann, and actually I've only listened to the one audio play, which is the one that 2 of us listened to together, Swords of Orion.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed him in that.
Yep.
And obviously the movie scene.
And I have got a bracket purely audios on here.
Right. But what I was going to say was that actually he was fantastic in that little short that came up before Day of the Doctor. Was it Night of the Doctor?
Night of the Doctor,
Yeah. He was brilliant in that.
Absolutely brilliant. It made us want to see him in the actual series.
It did, didn't it? And it's still probably, of all the whole things that we've talked about before of potential Doctor Who spin-offs, a going back in time Paul McGann series is probably what I would most want to see.
Yeah, at that point where we didn't like the sound of Class, it's we said that that Paul McGann was a better idea for a spin-off. The Paul McGann years.
Yeah, the Paul McGann years.
Well, that would be good.
Okay, so pretty much agree on our Doctors then.
Yeah, the first 5 we agree with.
Is there anything that we can throw in to challenge? I mean, probably if you asked 8 out of 10 cats, would they have gone for those same ones?
David Tennant would be in there.
He would,
most
yeah,
people.
that's what I was getting at really.
And I think Christopher Eccleston maybe.
Yeah, indeed.
For a lot of people.
So why doesn't David Tennant make your list?
David Tennant was actually the next one who was going to make my list.
Mm-hmm.
You may hate me for that, but he was the one who introduced me to Doctor Who. The Doctor.
There is that.
That was my first Doctor.
Yeah, I've got nothing against David Tennant, and I would people that are new to this podcast won't have heard this, so I will briefly explain.
No.
But I've got nothing against David Tennant. I really like Jessica Jones, for instance, the Netflix superhero series where he played a villain. He was fantastic, really, really brilliant. But whilst I like David Tennant, I don't really like his portrayal of the Doctor. I know that goes completely against a lot of people's views on it. But I just found that they heart-throbbed him too much. I think that my view changed towards the end of it. I think once you get into the specials, you start seeing a more damaged Doctor.
You do, yeah.
And I like that more, but I find him a little bit too jovial at times. Whereas Matt Smith's Doctor was also quite jovial, he had a slightly darker edge, which made it work.
Yeah.
Because I mean, let's face it, Patrick Troughton was very jovial, wasn't
Yeah.
he? But he didn't feel. Well, he certainly wasn't a heart-top Doctor, was he?
No.
He was like a funny little man that played the recorder.
Because it's Patrick Troughton Day.
Hey. So yeah, the thing is, all of the Doctors are great in their own right. I know a lot of people don't necessarily rate Colin Baker's years, but I actually really like Colin Baker as a Doctor. I think he was a really good Doctor. I think probably, the only thing is he struggles a little bit because of the era that they're in, and that the stories aren't perhaps as strong. The budget's looking a little bit thin.
But him as a Doctor, we're judging Doctors here. We're not judging series.
No.
I think people are often judging him by his era.
Yeah.
And because he's got a couple of really bad episodes.
Yeah.
They're sort of shying away from the good bits of his era.
But we know for fact, don't we, that people say that the Colin Baker audiobooks are really, really strong.
Yeah.
Not the audiobooks, the Big Finish
Big Finish
plays. So there's obviously a really strong Doctor in there. And similarly, I think you can say a similar thing about Sylvester McCoy, can't you?
Yeah.
I mean,
he's got quite a strong audio.
Yeah, and again, as a Doctor, he works really well. He's just as the Doctor should be. He's about as alien as they come.
Yeah, it's just he's definitely in his first series. His episodes aren't very strong. I mean, he has got a couple of classics in there, but
brings me on to what I think you were probably going to mention in the opening part of the show when we talked about stuff that we'd done during the week.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we watched together on Wednesday, we watched the extras from.
Oh yes, that's what I was
Survival.
going to mention.
Yeah. It's just suddenly popped into my head because of the conversation we're having. But
that's the thing.
That was really interesting because within that, Sylvester McCoy was talking about the series that was never made and how disappointing that was because he felt like he was really becoming sort of beginning to really make his own mark on the Doctor. And I think that is a shame. He obviously had a far darker edge than what we'd actually seen, and it would have been nice to have witnessed that.
Yeah, it would have been.
and I guess it started coming through a little bit with that final series.
Yeah.
I gather.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
So it would be interesting to see where he'd have taken that. But no, so that's what you were going to talk about earlier on. That was a really good documentary, actually, wasn't it?
It was.
Obviously, we've not finished it yet, have we? But good, really good.
Really good.
So, is there anything we can argue about? I mean, I guess the only thing really is that we've got the differences of Paul McGann as against William Hartnell.
Yeah, I mean, William Hartnell was close to making my list.
Yeah, but you said that David Tennant would still come before him.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Maybe partly because that was the era that you first started watching.
Yes.
I would imagine.
Probably. Because
So-
Tom Baker's at your top.
Yeah. Let's think then about the top three then. So we pretty much agree on our top 6 Doctors. Do we agree on the best 3?
Okay,
Do you
so
know who your top 3 are?
I know who my top 2 are, and those are Tom Baker and Peter Capaldi.
Yep, they're my top 2 as well.
I just can't decide what my third one is.
I'll read you mine in order.
Okay.
So mine are Tom Baker top, the Governor. Peter Capaldi second. Patrick Troughton third.
Say the government.
No, I made that bit up. Patrick Troughton third. John Pertwee fourth. And John Pertwee has moved up the table on mine on the basis that we've been watching some great episodes of his. I always liked him as a Doctor, but I like him more as a Doctor now, just having seen all these classic episodes. He's jumped ahead of Matt Smith, who's moved down to 5th, and then William Hartnell 6th.
So that's your order?
Yeah. So in my mind, the top 3 Doctors are Tom Baker, Peter Capaldi and Patrick Troughton.
Yeah.
Would you argue with that? Obviously not the top 2.
I'm actually going to put John Pertwee as number 3.
Yeah?
He's moved up a lot because Matt Smith was my old number 3.
Yeah.
But Matt Smith is 4th now. He's moved down.
Yeah.
So my order of this list is Tom Baker and Peter Capaldi in joint first position.
Ooh.
Third place goes to John Pertwee. 4th, Matt Smith. 5th, Patrick Troughton. 6th, Paul McGann.
Okay. Now see, I think probably, aside from a handful of episodes, John Pertwee's era might be stronger,
Yeah.
but I still prefer Patrick Troughton as a Doctor.
Okay.
And that's my thinking on it.
Interesting.
So,
Yeah.
interesting article. We would
Interesting.
love to hear your views, folks.
Yeah, you can let us know at DRWho time as in N space.
That's on Twitter.
That's on
Yeah.
Twitter.
Or you can tweet me if you like. I'm Mark Freak Geek, and that's Mark with a C. You know, we've got these little anomalies in our names just to make it difficult for anyone to actually find us.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'd love to hear from you. Alternatively, if you're listening to this on the YouTube version, put your comments below.
Yeah.
Or you can leave your comments on Podomatic.
Yeah. So wherever you're listening to.
Yeah. So we'd love to hear what your top 3, your top 6 favourite Doctors are and your orders, and perhaps a little bit why we're right or why we're wrong.
Yeah.
Let us know, folks.
Let us know. We're always interested in your thoughts, and you never know, we might feed them back.
Good. So, are we keeping this top 6 theme going next week?
Yeah, I think we will.
What are we doing?
We're doing monsters next week.
Oh, top 6 monsters.
Mm.
Excellent. Good. Look forward to that one then. What is that? We got a couple more bits to do on the show.
And villains, by the way. That's
Monsters
classing as
and
the same
villains.
thing.
Okay.
Sorry. What
So
did you
what's
say?
next?
Next up is our review of the 7th episode of season 8.
Which is?
Kill the Moon. So then, last week, the magic randomizer ace button picked out for us. Well, God, we hope Power of the Daleks comes up next week.
That'd be good,
By
wouldn't
the
it?
way, we haven't fixed it, but the magic randomizer picked up a New Who episode for the second time running, and that was Kill the Moon. and Kill the Moon is a Peter Capaldi episode, so it's from his first series, and it's also got Jenna Coleman as Clara. It's written by Peter Harness, who also wrote one of my particular favourites, the Zygon two-parter. Cool, can you give us a little bit of information about the plot?
Okay, so spoilers coming, folks.
Yep.
If you
haven't watched it, you should have watched it. It is 2 years old.
Yeah. So this one follows on from what we'd seen in the Caretaker episode, which had introduced us to one of the more riotous students at Coal Hill School, Courtney Woods.
Or now known as Coal Hill Academy.
As it is now, yeah. So basically, she's a bit of a wild child. They enter the TARDIS, and I think there's obviously been this dialogue that's gone on between them, where the Doctor has indicated that Courtney isn't special, and she's gone a bit funny as a result of that, hasn't she?
Yeah.
A bit sort of even more riotous than what she was before. She's been using his sonic paper. What's it called? Is it sonic paper? Psychic paper, sorry. Yeah. Been using the psychic paper to actually go in and buy alcohol. Tut tut tut. Actually, I could do some of that psychic paper. Not that I'd need it for. I guess I don't have to prove my age, being sort of older. But I could do with it for other things. Like I could pretend that I'm there to sample all of their wine or something. Yeah. Anyway, that's an aside. So the Doctor sort of eventually is. They are, yeah, they're on to me. The Doctor's eventually shamed into whisking Courtney off on a trip to the moon. And they arrive in 2049 on a space shuttle, and it's filled with it's an old space shuttle, and it's filled with nuclear devices, and it's on a sort of crash course for the moon. And they survive the impact, and they meet a new character, Captain Lundvik.
Played by Hermione Norris.
Yeah, and basically they're a bunch of sort of astronaut has-beens, really, and they're on a suicide mission to destroy the moon because the gravitation influence has changed on the moon. It's been expanding, which has been causing significant problems to the Earth. So there's been sort of high tides that have been wiping out big chunks of life, and it's been destabilising the orbit of artificial satellites. So they're sent out there basically to sort of stop all of that. What actually happened? When they get up there, they find that this Mexican colony that had been set up there has been completely destroyed, all covered in cobwebs, and there's this strange sort of spider species that are attacking. One of these spiders attacks Courtney, and she finds this. I'm not quite sure where it came. Where did that disinfective spray? Can't speak.
Spray.
Yeah, where did that spray come from? Because she sprays the spider, doesn't she?
Well, she was in a spacesuit, so she couldn't have had it in.
So anyway, one way or t'other, the Doctor soon realises that actually these aren't spiders per se, but they're actually sort of bacteria. And it turns out, big spoiler alert, that the moon that we've known for these years isn't the moon at all, but it's an egg.
Sorry for spoiling your whole dramatic build-up there.
Yeah, well, I'm annoyed by that, and I'm going to stop talking about the plot now.
But you spoiled my epic build-up to the next segment.
Well, that
I
is
have
true.
to spoil yours.
That is true. What do you make of Kill the Moon then?
I think it's a very underrated one. It's got such a clever plot. Yeah. So
I was just going to butt in very quickly there, because you mentioned it's underrated. I think it's not only underrated, it's in big chunks of the Who fandom. It's completely slated, isn't it?
I know.
Yeah,
luckily, Peter Harness did better in the fandom with the Zygon two-parter,
But I mean, there's a lot of people sort of saying this is. You get this comment a lot. This is the worst Doctor Who episode of all time.
Yeah, you always get that. Though.
Yeah.
I mean, people probably said that for Heaven's Sent. Mm. And look how good that was.
Have you not seen Fear Her, people?
Yeah. Watch Fear Her.
Which is the worst Doctor Who episode of all time.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
But no, really underrated. But I think it's got such a strong plot, and I can see why people get annoyed. But I can only get it for a few little chunks of story. Even though I do find little Courtney annoying, I do think Peter Capaldi and Jenna Coleman are both brilliant in acting.
I do as well. I also think I preferred Courtney watching it a second time than I did the first time.
Yeah,
round.
me too.
I found it a little bit annoying the first time round, but second time watching it, I mean, she's a good little actress and everything like that. And there's a point in it where all of a sudden all the bravado that she's got just goes out the window, and she's basically, I'm scared, I want to go home now.
Yeah.
And I love that bit. I think
Yeah,
that's
that
a
is quite
really,
clever.
really, really great bit. Okay, I'm going to ask you something about it. We've not done this for a few weeks, but
Or is it too good, too
too
bad?
good, too bad.
We haven't done this for ages.
No.
So if you guys, we probably haven't done it since it's landed on iTunes.
Probably not. No.
Probably the last time we did it was when we went to Cardiff.
Might have done. Yeah.
Too good, too bad is a thing that we do on the podcast where we look at 2 positive things about the episode and then 2 negative things. We come up with one each.
Because some things are too good.
Yeah.
And some things are too bad.
So, my positive thing,
Yeah.
brilliant acting from not only Peter Capaldi and Jenna Coleman, but also from also some good acting from Hermione Norris as Lundvik and Ellis George as Courtney.
Shall I come up with the other one? I think the strongest thing about this episode is there's the really big bit of dialogue, and it probably links in with the acting, but I'll give this as a credit to the writers more than anything. A great bit of dialogue when the Doctor tells Clara that he's not able to save him on this occasion, and it sort of goes on. It expands not only. I think it's threefold really. You've got that bit there, which is just brilliant.
Yeah.
And when he then leaves, and he makes a comment about sort of time to take the stabilisers off her bike and stuff like that, and it is a real slap in the face to Clara, and he doesn't necessarily approach it as well as he should have done. I think that bit's brilliant. I think that's a really great bit of writing. It then is equally as good when they're on the beach looking up at the moon, but then also when it comes, and this is one of the bits I know people don't necessarily like, but the bit when Clara then gives the Doctor a dressing down in the TARDIS at the end, I think the dialogue in that is fantastic.
I think it is as
I think it's really, really good.
There's some really good acting in there. There's some really good dialogue in there. It's really a really well scripted scene. Yeah,
because it is. You can see her frustration. I guess to a certain extent it is a bit contradictory, I guess, to the way Clara has been at other times. But if you take it just in its own right, she's really angry with him because she didn't want to be placed in that position. She was scared, wasn't she? And I think the fact that the Doctor completely underestimated the impact it would have on her, and he actually looks really shocked when she's having a go at him. And I just thought that's probably what I think is the strongest point.
Yeah.
Honorary mentions there though. As an episode, it looks fantastic.
It does look fantastic, and it was filmed in Lanzarote.
It looks, particularly all the scenes out on the surface of the moon is just brilliant.
Looks great.
Yeah.
And the ending bit looks great as well.
Yeah.
The sand, the deserty area.
So, if these are the 2 good, and an extra one tagged on for good measure, 2 bad.
There are some scientific plot holes, which I know people hated, including the whole thing with the moon being smaller than the moon being smaller than its egg.
Yeah, that would be that was the bad I was going to say. I love the concept of the big monster being born, and I love the concept of the moon being left there. But wowza, how did that manage to lay that egg?
Yeah, I know.
It's huge.
It was.
It's a huge egg.
It was huge.
But
so some scientific plot holes in there.
But a great concept.
Yeah. What's your other?
That was my negative.
Sorry for stealing it.
Was there anything else that I think is a negative in that? Thinking my way through it a little bit. Okay, yeah, there is one. It's not really too bad, but
yep. Well, it is too bad.
It is too bad.
Too good, too bad.
It's not too bad.
Well, it's the second bad. So.
The sequence with the lights,
yep,
I think is effective. I mean, just for those that need reminding, there's a moment when Clara goes live on television and tells people all around the world that if they to turn their lights off, if they want the moon blown up, keep the lights on. If they want to save the moon, save the unborn baby, and I like the concept of that, but it's also the way it's delivered is perhaps a little bit cheesy.
Yes, it is.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But that's I'm pushing it a little bit because
it's hard to think of bad.
Personally, I think it's a really good episode. I know we looked at the list, didn't we, earlier on IMDb of best to worst Doctor Who episodes, and it was relatively near the bottom, and I struggle with that because I think the look of it, the feel of the episode, the delivery of the episode, the writing, it's just top notch to me. I think it's one of the better ones.
It is.
Of New Who, I would suggest.
It is one of the better ones.
And actually, looking at the reviews, it's very, very divided. There's people that have got it sort of 10 out of 10, and there's people with 1 out of 10. So and I guess you can see why.
So then, scores.
Okay. Monsters. It's not
/ villains.
I mean, you've got to say that those spiders look brilliant. I mean, but they play a really small part of it. The story isn't really about monsters, so I can only really give it a 7.
Yeah.
However good they looked.
Character development.
Brilliant. Really strong character development. The whole thing between the Doctor and Clara and the whole make your own decision sort of thing, and then the repercussions of that. I'm going to give that a 9.
Yep. Excitement.
Exciting episode, I think. I think it is an excitement. I'm going to give it an 8 for excitement.
Pace.
Really good pace. In fact, I'll give it a 9 for pace because I think it's got a really strong pace to it.
And a new one.
Ooh.
A new one.
What's
a new score.
Ooh.
Story.
I'm going to give it an 8 for story.
Okay. Do you like that new addition?
I do like that.
I've been thinking of a time to introduce it.
Just means you've got to add something else into the equation now, haven't you? Got to add more scores.
I do, yeah, but it's okay. I've got my score.
Okay, so what is that?
It's 41 out of 50.
41 out of 50.
So what's your score of averages and just overall?
Can I use points? I can never remember.
Yes, you can use points.
I'm going to say for this one, it's probably about an 8.5 for me.
I am going to give it an 8.3.
Okay.
So, should we see where we've placed it?
Yeah, so...
will it still...
Yeah, no, that's
fine.
fine.
Have you saved this?
Yeah, that's fine. It's all running still. So, basically, we mentioned earlier on that we had the Magic Randomizer. For those that aren't aware, Magic Randomizer is a spreadsheet that captures every Doctor Who episode. We've been watching them as they've been selected, so we've done 84 so far, and we've been ordering them in sort of priority order as we've watched them.
So
to give you a sort of an ongoing chart.
Yeah.
So it's not every Doctor Who episode in the chart yet, but it will be by the time we've run all of the randomizer.
So out of 84, for me it's 30th.
And for me it's 24th.
Yeah.
So quite high.
Yeah.
Quite high. So we might be in conflict there with the mass, I would suggest. But,
I think we are, yeah.
Probably moves us on then to the last little bit, which is sort of linked very much to this item anyway. But when we press the Magic Randomizer...
Let's hope it's a second Doctor episode, because it's Patrick Troughton Day!
Hey!
Dun, 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 dun.
So,
let's hope it's Power of the Daleks.
What is the randomizer going to select for us today then? Are you ready to press that Magic Randomizer
Power
button?
of the Daleks!
That's
Power of the Daleks! Power of the Daleks! Power of the Daleks!
Okay.
Ooh.
So, okay, well, we've got the classic Who that we've been looking for.
Yeah.
We haven't got
You
Patrick Troughton.
thought it was going to come up with a real good one, didn't you?
I did say that, didn't
and
I?
I thought it was going to come up with one like Twin Dilemma.
Yeah.
But
no.
it is actually a really good one that D Cool has been wanting to watch for a very long time.
So what is it?
It's City of Death.
Fantastic. I'm sure this is probably the only podcast in the world which has got these sort of weird zany
Yeah,
things.
but that's the song that's in City of Death.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, so
I'm really looking forward.
Wait until we watch part 1 on Wednesday.
Okay, well, I'll be looking forward for City of Death. So it's a Tom Baker one.
And Tom
Who's the
Baker,
companion again?
Romana too.
Romana. Okay. Looking forward for that very, very much.
Yes, it's a really classic one. I've wanted to watch it for ages. Can't remember whether it's as. I always thought it was an overrated one, but I want to watch it again because it's very, very high in Dorm and everything.
Good. Well, we look forward for that. We should be feeding back our comments on City of Death this time next week.
Yes.
So what else do we have on next week's show?
It's episode 185. We will be looking at our top 6 monsters in the 6th challenge part 5.
We'll be reviewing City of Death.
We'll be reviewing episode 5 of Class, Brave-ish Heart.
We'll be giving you some more news and views from the Whoniverse.
And we'll be pressing the magic randomizer button.
Good. Until then, we look forward to seeing you. Have a great week, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Try and do something Who related, and try and tell us your thoughts on Kill the Moon. Your top 6 Doctors, Class episode 4, or tell us your thoughts about City of Death and your top 6 monsters for next week's show at Doctor Who, Dr Who Time Un, as in N space, at Twitter, and the Miss Lisman YouTube account.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I've been D Cool, Dr. Cool.
And I've been L Lewis Moon. We'll see you next time, same time.
Same space.
Goodbye!